Welcome to the Socioeconomic Data and Application Center. SEDAC is one of 12 NASA Distributed Active Archive Centers, or DACs. We are the only DAC that focuses on producing socioeconomic data products that complement satellite remote sensing data resources provided by other NASA DACs. SEDAC is managed by the Center for International Earth Science Information Network, or CEISN, of the Earth Institute of Columbia University. Our offices are at the Lamont campus of Columbia University in Palisades, New York. Our focus is on the human dimensions of environmental change. A major additional emphasis is on the integration of social and earth science data, especially earth science data derived from remote sensing. We directly support scientists, applied and operational users, decision makers, and policy communities. Each year, more than 200 science and policy publications use SEDAC data, and many web applications are based on SEDAC data. SEDAC maintains strong links to the geospatial data community. In this video, we provide a simple overview of some of SEDAC's data products. The maps are entirely drawn from our extensive map gallery. In the second video, we look at some examples of data integration. All maps and data products are available at the SEDAC website. Simply search the internet for SEDAC or type in the URL. This video was produced in May 2013 and represents SEDAC's current and planned datasets as of that date. SEDAC's flagship data product is the Gridded Population of the World, or GPW, currently in its third version. This data product is the most widely used of all SEDAC datasets, with close to 800 citations in the scientific literature since the late 1990s and representing fully 44% of all data citations in 2012. The purpose of GPW is to take data reported by census units of varying sizes and shapes and to translate those data to a common grid or raster format. Once gridded, the population data can be easily integrated with other spatial data. SEDAC is currently working on version 4 of GPW, which will be produced at a higher spatial resolution and will include population by age and sex. In the community that studies human-environment interactions, there is a growing interest in urban areas, since urban areas are rapidly growing in some regions and their impacts extend well beyond their borders. In 2004, we began working on an urban extents dataset as part of the Global Rural-Urban Mapping Project, also known as GRUMP. This is based on a combination of stable, nighttime lights from the Defense Meteorological Satellite Program and, where lights were not sufficiently bright, settlement points that were buffered according to population size. The inset map of Europe reveals the classic radial form of city developments and the strong concentration of population in northern Germany, Belgium, and the Netherlands, as well as across the English Channel in southern England. This settlement points dataset was developed as part of the overall GRUMP suite of products. The dataset provides spatial and tabular data on all settlements in the world down to a population size of only 5,000 people. Data from GPW and the urban extents mapping were used to create the GRUMP population grid, which is depicted here. A simple modeling approach was used in order to reallocate populations from larger administrative units towards urban areas. This dataset has a spatial resolution of 30 arcseconds, or approximately 1 square kilometer at the equator, and therefore is slightly higher resolution than GPW version 3. In its U.S. Census Grids collection, SEDAC has also gridded the U.S. Census data on population characteristics. This map depicts the percentage of population who are over age 65 for the year 2000. Notice the high percentage of elderly population along the coast of Florida and in many rural western states. This map depicts the percentage of people who have bachelor's degrees. Note the higher percentage of college graduates in urban areas generally, but within major cities such as Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York, there are major differences in education levels. In 2002, SEDAC released the first human footprint map as part of the joint Season and Wildlife Conservation Society Last of the Wild project. The project combined multiple layers representing human settlements and activities, including population, roads, rail corridors, and nighttime lights, in order to create a standardized spatial index of human influence on the environment. It found that about 85% of the Earth's land surface has been impacted by some form of human activity. The areas depicted in lighter to darker shades of green were then determined to be the last wild areas, deserving of special attention for biodiversity conservation. In 2005, SEDAC released a new collection of poverty datasets. The three major datasets include this map of infant mortality rates, which is the number of deaths of children aged 0 to 1 per 1,000 live births in a given year. These rates are baseline to the year 2000. SEDAC is currently working on a 2010 update. As part of its poverty mapping collection, SEDAC also combined data from the demographic and health surveys and the multiple indicator cluster surveys to produce a picture of child malnutrition in developing and transitioning countries. This is measured as children whose weight for age is less than 2 standard deviations below the median for the international reference population. As with the infant mortality map, there are major pockets of high child malnutrition in sub-Saharan Africa and South Asia. SEDAC also has small area estimates of poverty for selected countries. Here, in Panama, we see how poverty levels are highest in rural areas. The Panama Canal bisects the country north to south, and the areas around the canal have among the lowest poverty levels in the country. Access to markets through maintained roads is a major factor contributing to economic development and poverty alleviation. In 2013, we released the Global Roads Open Access Dataset, which is a new compilation of the best available country-level roads datasets. This dataset was developed under the rubric of the ICSU CODATA Global Roads Data Development Task Group. Another infrastructure dataset, the Global Reservoir and Dam Database, provides records of close to 7,000 dams and reservoirs. Notice the high density of dams and reservoirs in North America and Europe, and the concentration of dams for irrigation, color-coded green, in the western United States and South Asia. In addition to spatial data, SEDAC distributes a number of tabular datasets, including environmental indicators. SEDAC provides a complete archive of all releases of the Yale and Columbia University Environmental Sustainability Index and its successor, the Environmental Performance Index. Through its Population, Landscape, and Climate Estimates, or PLACE dataset, SEDAC provides tabular data on population and land area by country for a set of elevation, climate, and ecosystem zones. This map depicts the World Wildlife Fund Biomes dataset. PLACE provides a series of tabulations that can be easily accessed through Excel pivot table functions. In this case, we have queried the database to find the percent land area and population by country that resides in the desert and xeric shrublands biome. In the case of Afghanistan and Bahrain, the percentages match each other, but in Algeria and Australia, there is a higher percentage of land area than of population residing in this biome. In addition to the data described in this presentation, SEDAC has collections of data on natural disaster hotspots, human appropriation of net primary productivity, anthropogenic biomes, species grids, environmental treaties, sulfur dioxide emissions, and climate impacts on food supply. We encourage you to check back frequently since our collection is continually expanding. The easy-to-use faceted data search tool allows the user to find data quickly by theme or by country and region, or to use a free text search. Our extensive map gallery enables users to explore the datasets prior to download, or to simply copy and paste maps into reports and PowerPoint presentations. All maps are covered by Creative Commons licenses that do not require any permissions, but only request proper attribution. As with the dataset catalog, a faceted search tool allows a user to find maps quickly by theme or by country and region. SEDAC also has state-of-the-art web map services that permit users to explore the datasets before downloading. Advanced users can bring these map services into other Open Geospatial Consortium web map clients. Please feel free to contact SEDAC User Services should you need additional information on our products and services. Thank you for viewing this presentation.